Well, first of all, it's a fact that the Turkish-Pakistani relationship is of great history, no doubt. It has great substance in the past, and what everybody has been questioning, especially in the last, I guess, couple of decades, is why isn't it a greater relationship? Why isn't it a more strategic relationship in every level, not just trade, but in every level? I remember as a kid growing up, the only song that we were taught that had anything to do with any country was about Pakistan and our friendship. That sense, that brotherly relationship still continues with Pakistan. I believe that most Turks, at least in my generation, do feel Pakistan as close to as Azerbaijan. So for us, most of us here, there's no difference. And I think if you look at the essence of President Erdogan's speech, he's also questioning the same thing. Let's all wish and hope that this would be another, kickstart for a greater relationship between Turkey and Pakistan in the coming days, years, and decades.
Mr. Adam, I'm happy that you talked about, in fact, you questioned the fact that despite historical and emotional ties, there has been not the kind of strategic depth between Turkey and Pakistan relations as there should have been. But there are also these fault lines within the Muslim bloc, as you are well aware of, and of course the fact that Turkey under AKP has also been projecting its traditional power in the greater Middle East, Eastern Mediterranean, and that has not gone down well with some of the countries with which Pakistan also has traditional ties. So do you get a sense in Turkey that Pakistan also has to do a balancing act here, sort of charting its way through, treacherous waters?
I'm sure. It would be very, I think, for those of us that care about greater picture, it would be very careless for us to say that each nation and each area, has its own problems and it has its own kind of important things to watch out for. So I cannot say that, the level of the relationship and the quality of the relationship between Turkey and Pakistan has not been the greatest or hasn't reached its full potential, probably due to things that Turkey has done, things that Pakistan has done, or things that Turkey and Pakistan have to do because of their, places in the world. But we must never forget, although each and every country has their own problems to worry about, we can at least, agree on a lot of things when it comes to Muslim nations and when it comes to two nations. We have been watching from the news here that along the motorcade route of President Erdogan, there were signs that were put up saying as, two countries, one nation. I think we must concentrate more on on the things that we agree upon rather than those things that we may not fully agree upon. So I think the biggest problem has been, and the reason for these problems could be attributed to both sides, was the communication, lack of communication or the amount of communication. I think as we increase this, I think as we try to get closer to one another, I think more of our problems will be behind us than in front of us. But nevertheless.
Absolutely, I agree with you. There are several areas of cooperation where the relationship can be cemented even further, including progress